haven't done that in 20 years.
My fear for the Islanders moving to Belmont in a few years, my biggest fear is it's going to turn into the Nets in Brooklyn.
How so, brother?
When the Nets moved to Brooklyn, caring Bruce Ratner, as Mike Lupica called him, which I thought was a beautiful, sarcastic thing about Bruce Ratner.
Okay.
Basically, he said, well, we get this arena and the Nets are going to be great. Well, wrong is the right answer. And then he sold off most of the team and the arena to the Russian guy who knows where he got his money.
Yeah, well, I know, but let me interrupt you there for one moment, brother, because you said we get in the new arena and then we win. But why have they been losing?
That's because they stopped caring.
General manager.
Yes, I agree.
The trade with the Boston Celtics for Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and I give him credit for going for it, but let's evaluate the trade. You traded a load of number one picks, three number one picks for two aging veterans.
Classic Red Auerbach trade.
Exactly. And now
he's not around.
Where are the Celtics now? The Celtics have gotten better thanks to those Nets draft picks.
Yep.
The Celtics are a title contender with at least another two picks, not necessarily Nets, but other picks that they've accumulated. The Celtics are in as good a position as almost any team in the NBA right now. And a large part of that is because they dumped Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce on the Nets and got three incredible number one picks back.
I agree.
Jason Tatum, who's playing for the Celtics, is going to be a star. Nets pick.
Yep.
I mean, and he's only one of them. I mean, I'd have to research the others. But the Nets single-handedly revived the Celtics franchise.
I'm sure they got a nice thank you note from the Celtics. Ugh. We're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. Check out our website, nccradio.org.
Come on, everybody. Let's sing along with Bruce.
Join me, Kim Tracy, for the music of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band on Thunder Road, Sundays at 1 p.m. on the Voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC and on the iHeartRadio app.
All hit music.
For all those songs radio has forgotten about. Join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show.
Music.
On the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Okay.
Go.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Do you think that if Post Malone was a piece of crispy bread, his name would be Toast Malone?
I never thought about that.
What if he's like super into Halloween? He'd be Ghost Malone. What if there's like more than one of him, but like he's the best out of all of them, so he's the most Malone? What if he never like stops talking about his own music and he's just like super like into himself? He'd be Boast Malone.
Wow.
What if he walks the beach? He'd be Coast Malone. And then if he throws a party, he's Host Malone.
Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the Voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
We're back here on From the Press Box. Don't forget, this show goes on Spreaker and iTunes later on in the day as a podcast, because we are a sports radio show and podcast.
A podcast. It says so on my business card.
It does. Did you get them, actually?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
By the way, congratulations to everyone here at Nassau Community College and at WHPC who graduated with their 2-year degree, their associate's degree. Congratulations.
Well done, students.
It's important to get a college degree, even though it is, God knows, expensive now. I mean, it really is. I don't know if I could afford to go to the school I went to, based on what they're trying. And what you went to Hofstra. Forget it.
Big money.
Yeah, you'd be going somewhere else.
No, I'd just be getting a lot more loans.
I don't know. God, yeah. Well, would have it mattered? That's the thing. But anyway, congratulations to everyone here at the radio station, and also just in regular graduation, because it is graduation week or weeks for the colleges right now. This is when they do it, except for New York Tech. They have always done their stuff in June for some reason.
May is graduation month.
Yeah.
So well done to all the students.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's a great thing. They had the graduation over at the Coliseum. So that's always a good thing.
NYCB Live.
I call it the Coliseum. It's like,
what is it? NYCB Live at Nassau Coliseum?
Yes.
It's really, people get on that. Just change it.
Well, it's a sponsorship thing. I don't know why they just, call it the NYCB Coliseum, but there is reasons, because one time, I forgot, one of the politicians said this will always be dedicated to the veterans. And so they've always had to call it the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. So I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to the Yankees, brother. 8 in a row.
How about that?
Your guy Clint Frazier.
Well, let's get into Clint Frazier a little later. Let's talk about Gary Sanchez.
What's the difference?
My man El Gary.
Is that his real name?
What, El Gary?
Yes.
That's his handle on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why you call him El Gary.
El Gary Sanchez.
And you're on Twitter too. At what?
At Real Tim Leonard.
That's right. Okay.
So El Gary, 2 home runs on Saturday in the 8-3 win. Then you have Tyler Austin, 2 home runs on Sunday in a 10-1 win, which I was watching in a bar in Miami Beach, by the way. So my question is this. Tyler Austin now has 8 home runs. And when he plays, for the most part, he mashes. So what do you do with Tyler Austin when Greg Bird is ready to play? Which should be within probably about 2 weeks. Because Tyler Austin, you can't send him down.
No,
it would
but
just be ridiculous.
You got to move people around. I say keep him, but then you got to get rid of someone else.
Well, I know, but who do you send down?
I don't know.
That's the question.
See, I think the Major League Baseball and all sports should not have like a 25-man roster or whatever number you want to use. They should allow the teams to keep whoever they want up, and they have to pay them, of course. But this way, something like this can be avoided.
Well, I mean, this is the rules of the game. You have a 25-man roster. This is a way for teams to keep salaries down too. If whoever gets sent down, it goes from making the major league minimum, which is a little bit over $500,000, to whatever they're making in AAA, which probably is about $50,000. I mean, the pay difference is massive.
Of course.
So, I'm just wondering, because you just absolutely can't send Tyler Austin down to the minor leagues. He's done nothing to warrant it.
Well, who do you send then?
I don't know. That's the puzzling thing right now, is who do you send? And the guy who might wind up becoming the victim in this is Miguel Andujar at third base, which would be pretty tragic. I'm puzzled with the Yankees in terms of who the odd man out is going to be. You mentioned Clint Frazier. Clint Frazier was brought up for a couple of games. The Yankees decided to go one pitcher short, so they brought him up for a couple of games. As much as I like Clint Frazier, and I think he's an exciting player, good young player, has all the tools. This kid, he has a knack for saying stupid stuff. Like he talked about the other day about
as a reporter, you would like that, wouldn't you?
No. Well,
I'm not talking about a fan. I'm talking about Tim Leonard, journalist.
It makes it easy.
Award-winning sports writer Tim Leonard.
Put it this way. It makes it easier to write.
Of course.
But you cringe when somebody just doesn't get it and continues to say the wrong thing over and over again. And that's how it was with A-Rod. A-Rod managed to almost always say the wrong thing. Clint Frazier, it's not as bad as A-Rod, but he was talking the other day when they promoted him about, well, I've been doing everything I can to earn the promotion, and they couldn't keep me down anymore. Well, no, that's not what it was at all. The Yankees made a decision to go with 12 pitchers instead of 13, so it opened up a roster spot. So here's your batting for 2 games. That's all it was. Everybody, apparently, except Clint Frazier, knew that he was going to be there for 2 games.
Well, maybe he thought this is his way of, psyching himself up to stay with the big team.
You can't be that tone deaf. You can't be so unaware of your own situation that you make comments like that. Yeah. The thing he should have said is, well, I know it's just a temporary thing, but I'm hoping to get a few at bats, and maybe I can change some minds in those few at bats. Something like that.
Yeah, but that's as a reporter, Tim. As you're looking at this kind of as a fan, which is okay too. But as a reporter, you would prefer that he say the stupid stuff because then you get a nice column out of it.
I mean, I don't want to just sit there and keep writing about how stupid he is.
Well, that's true too,
and how clueless he is.
That's true.
And that for whatever reason he has no concept of his own situation. I mean, right now, Clint Frazier's main purpose in the Yankees system is as a hellacious trade chip. That's what he is right now. The team, when the Yankees go shopping for pitching, for a real ace-type pitcher at the trade deadline, Clint Frazier's name is going to be the first name out of Brian Cashman's mouth.
Sure.
He's going to say, we'll give you Clint Frazier, end. What else the end is, that's going to be the issue.
But does Brian Cashman go to Sandy Alderson and say, here's Clint Frazier, give me, Jacob deGrom or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think, too. So I'm worried about that. And I don't think Clint Frazier would fit in with the Mets.
And you know what?
What?
Sandy Alderson listens.
Well, yeah, because he'll need
if he's got a brain in his head, he listens.
Well, he listens, but I don't think you trade. You do the trade, though. That's my thing.
I heard this last night, and it made a lot of sense. The Mets, this is 2 years, more than 2 years, the Mets have had basically the same group.
Yes.
And they're not doing a whole lot.
No, they're not.
So it might be time, if unless the Mets go on a run, and right now, hey, they won 3 in a row. They got the Marlins coming in.
Yep.
Obviously, things are looking like they could be in a position to make a run, but you're talking Cespedes is hurt again.
Yes, he is.
You're talking Steven Matz still can't figure it out. So
what's wrong with him?
We talked about this last week, a couple of weeks ago, whatever. Steven Matz was a guy who came up with a ton of hype, and he's never done anything to warrant the hype. He was a great prospect for sure, and there were a lot of people who looked at him and said, well, would you rather have Steven Matz or Noah Syndergaard? And a lot of people said Matz because he'd never been hurt.
Yeah, well.
So that was the issue. But Steven Matz can't get through 5 innings.
No, he can't.
And that is a huge thing for a pitcher. If you can't give if a pitcher can't give his team length, if he can't get to the 6th or the 7th inning, then he's not really of much use.
But then again, part of this whole thing getting to the 7th inning has to do with the whole 100-pitch thing and that crap.
You love to bring that up.
I do. Because
but you know what? It's an arbitrary number.
It is.
But if a pitcher is throwing 100 pitches through 5 innings, he's not pitching well. It doesn't matter the pitch count. He's not pitching well. He's going to a lot of 3-2 counts. He's nibbling too much. He's not taking charge.
That used to be called great pitching.
No, it wasn't called great pitching.
If you're going for corners and stuff,
not if you're going to 3-2 counts all the time.
If you're winning, it's good.
You want to get through an inning in 15 pitches or less.
That's
plain and simple.
That's really tough, though, brother.
No, it's not really tough.
Yes, it is, because it's 6 innings.
Throw strikes.
6 innings and part of a
7 innings. That would be 7 innings. 105 pitches for 7 innings.
That's very tight.
So, but that's why you're saying it's very tight. That's how you know you're pitching a good game.
Yeah, but that means let's say you throw strikeouts. So you get 3 strikeouts. It's 9 pitches. You're not doing that. You're going to have a ball in there, a couple of foul offs or something.
And if that's what's happening, that's what's happening. But Syndergaard manages to get through it and throw 100 pitches and strike out 10 or 12 guys.
Right.
So why Steven Matz can't get through 5 innings?
I'm not saying he shouldn't, because I agree he should, but
it's ridiculous.
By the way, ridiculous. Just as a thing about the Mets, this week's actually pretty big. The Mets are currently 3.5 out. And
those Mets.
They're playing Miami this week, which is one of the worst teams in baseball. But get this, Atlanta and Philly are playing a 3-game series. So
I'll tell you what.
You know what?
I know we dismissed them before the season started.
Who, Philly or Atlanta?
Both of them are looking pretty good.
Yes, they are.
And I know it's still early, but we're 40, 45 games into the season. We're 25% of the way through.
Yep. And this is the time where you start looking at teams and saying, all right, they might be for real. I agree.
And the Braves have a lot of good young talent. You know who is is still very underappreciated? And I'm going to give you a name, brother, because you probably haven't even heard of him.